Hi guys, I'm live. Let me get my hair. It's down a little bit. Okay. Further down. That's way down. Not that far down. Okay. Dude. Stupid thing. It's not positioned right. So anyway, how you guys doing? Got my hair here. So anyway, it's July 7th. Whoever Andy and his friend is, maybe the friend, moderator told me, the friend might even be Andy. You never know. It might be Andy playing himself. Whatever. I said I'd be out on my front porch, and I try to do what I say, So here I am, Andy and friend, or Andy and himself. I'm here, so come on, let's do this. But whatever, That's another thing I learned from my dad, or I didn't learn from my dad by my dad telling me anything, but by the experience of having him as a dad. One thing I learned was I really don't do fear. I first of all, if you do fear, the other guy's already won on some level, and I don't like that. In the movie Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi tells Daniel-san, you can lose to enemy, can't lose to fear. Somebody can beat you up, and that's okay, but you can't fear them, because then they've done worse than beat you up. So, and plus whoever the person is that's after me, Andy or some unknown person, or maybe Andy himself again, if they don't measure up to my dad, and I've already experienced him, then I'm not really that afraid. So whatever. And I'm not going to go on about details, but I've already faced death a couple times, so I can do it again. If I hadn't, and I was a newbie to danger and trouble and threats, and maybe I'll be shaking and all that crap, but I've done it before, so whatever. Why they picked July 7th, I don't know, but that's today. Plus, if you think of it, there's a good ways of being. You realize if someone kills me, they spare me old age. You guys get that? The Who said, I hope things in life can. Well, how's it go? Something about something can be so cold. Hope I die before I get old. My generation, right? I mean, if I die now, I get spared old age. So, whatever. That's not all I want to talk about, but I wanted to go live to show that I'm on my front porch, like I said it would be. Anyway, so about something else. I finally did a good take of Eugene's Trick Bag in 12 keys around the Circle of Fifths, followed by Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in 12 keys around the Circle of Fifths. I did them both correctly, at least as far as going on the Circle of Fifths goes. I did the cycle right on both of them. So I finally did it. I guess how many outtakes I had yesterday of that. I had 27 outtakes. So the 28th take was the right take. That's persistence. And sometimes I'd be doing it right, but it wasn't good enough for me. It didn't sound good enough, so I would start over. I would start from scratch on the take because I didn't like what I'd done. It has to pass my standard too. It's not just I put crap on my channel and hope everybody watches it. It has to pass my production too. It has to be good enough in my book, or I'll just delete it. I have to be happy with it too. So let's just talk. The moderator's doing great on the pedal. I'm calling it the Raterator, because it's like a rat pedal, but it's designed by the moderator. So we're calling it the Raterator, Raterator, Raterator. Raterator, correct. And we're gonna have it's gonna be cool, and it's gonna be tested by me to make sure it sounds good. It's one thing for he said it's one thing for it to look good on paper, but you don't really know until you try it. So I'm gonna try one. Not only that, if it's good, I'm gonna use one because guess what? I'm using my rap pedal again. My amp distortion isn't good enough for me anymore. Not even my compressor added to that makes it good enough. So I actually use my compressor and my rap pedal and the distortion on my amp now. So if Moderator makes a great pedal, I'll not only be endorsing it, but I'll be using it on my videos. I'll be actually using the Raterator if it's good on my rig. So that's good. Kudos to him for doing that, doing a good job there. What else was I gonna say? Let me think here. There's that. Oh, and I want to plug Oldtown Records again. They are so cool there. They're off. You go to Oldtown Front Street and you make a right on Main. Oh, depends what direction you're going. LOL. It's off Main. It's on Main Street, which is off of Oldtown Front Street. They're so cool there. They sold me my Jim Morrison poster, which is now on in many of my videos. They sold me that, and they're great. And they've got great energy, and that's very cool. I like them. So, and they have great. They have for the number of CDs they have a fabulous taste in what kind of CDs that they actually have. Given the limited number of CDs they actually have, because it's mostly records, that's why it's called Oldtown Records. But given the limited number of CDs they have, I haven't seen such a robust collection at a store since the 80s, when I used to go to Music Plus and the Warehouse and Licorice Pizza and all the old record stores of the 80s. That's how good that their selections are. It reminds me of those days when you could walk in and you wanted to buy like 100 albums, and you probably didn't have the money for all of them, but you'd buy them as you go. Yeah. So my dad gave me an allowance on Saturdays every day for 17 years. I'm not going to go into how much it was. I would have to do my chores though. I'd have to mow the lawn and do the weeds and do the yard. I had to do the yard, and for that I would get an allowance every Saturday. And then when I was talking about college, he gave me $1,000 a semester to spend, as well as paying the whole tuition. And kudos to him, when I dropped out of college after my third year, my dad didn't once complain about the wasted money. He might have thought, so another dad might have said, "I've spent my money on you." He didn't blink an eye. He never once even brought that up. That's a cool dad, huh? Yeah. Of course, it's a dad that can afford that, but it's also a cool dad. A lot of the richest people, I don't know, but I have a feeling a lot of the richest people are just, they want more money. They're my dad wasn't like that. He wasn't like that. He wasn't about all just money for him. Like, he had a conversation, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, with his friend Ron Rooney. And one thing he told Ron while we were just hanging out in like 1988 is, because he was a Mason, and he was also, he also worked on the Astro Cinnamon Blackbird and designed black boxes for that and everything. And he said to Ron, with what I know now, I'd rather know what I know now than have my money. He'd rather know what he knows than have the money he has. And Ron just quickly said, "I just want the money." And he didn't even have the knowledge either. Ron was not, Ron didn't have the knowledge and would have wanted the money. My dad had the money and the knowledge and wanted the knowledge more. He liked great people in history. One of his favorites was Gandhi. He liked Gandhi. And his favorite actor was Sidney Poitier, was my dad's favorite actor. And he admired Kelly Johnson and really liked his connections with him. He's the guy. Kelly Johnson is the brains behind the SF-71 project. So, yeah. And my dad noted that before Kelly died, my dad saw Kelly get an award, and at the ceremony, Kelly gets this big award for being great, at the ceremony, and when he gives a speech, he just says, "You should give this to my workers; they deserve it more." And my dad thought that was my dad thought that was really cool that Kelly Johnson said that, like it was an example for him. You know, like don't always be about you. You know, and sometimes that itself can be greatness. You know, ironically, right? Anyway, so obviously, I as far as trouble and you know getting beat up and facing death is concerned, I'm not a newbie. So here I am in front of my front porch on the day that Andy and a friend said they're. I mean, yeah, whatever. It gave me an excuse to go live because I wasn't going to go. I probably might have been doing this live if it wasn't for the fact that I want to show you guys that I did what I said I would do. And that's the thing about my character. By character, I mean my integrity, not just my character's name, shirtless guy. I try not to say things that aren't true, that I don't mean. So when it comes time for when a hater says you're lying, I, I'm not. So in the end, either that will be totally uninvestigated and left open, or I will prove that is a lie, I'll prove the hater wrong, because I did not say, what I'm saying was not a lie. So it either remains a mystery, or I prove the hater wrong. There's no other third option. The hater's not going to be right when I didn't lie in the first place. So haters hate all way, but it doesn't make you right. It doesn't even mean I'm not going to prove you wrong, either now, I mean, sometime, or even very soon. Like with the jury thing, you know, I'm sure that I'm not sure, but it sounds to me like the hater enjoyed saying, "Oh yeah, sure, you had jury duty, Jimmy. You probably went to be subpoenaed by Amy and Andrew for stalking them." Well, first of all, I don't stalk Amy and Andrew. Second of all, I did have jury duty, so I proved that with my check. Unless you guys have a third, unless you guys have some reason, some way that's not that, other explanation for me getting a $17.99 check from the Riverside Fair Court. If you guys have a better idea of why that happened, then sure, maybe it's still open. But otherwise, I proved the hater wrong, because I was not lying in the first place. I don't pull a bunch of punches and hope I don't get caught. I just don't pull bunches. So, whatever. Haters, hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you had a good time at my expense, or maybe even just a good time period. But whatever. So. Well, we also have a great neighborhood watch. I never brought this up, but we have a good neighborhood watch program where I'm at right now too. I've identified Andrew's car. It's a red car, and the last three the last three letters on the license plate are 516. If he wants to get to me, he's got to go through our complex and not get called on. Not have somebody know that he doesn't belong here and give him trouble. And then he's going to come here and do his thing. So whatever. It's no, I guess Google can take you right to any place. You don't have to know how to get to my house. You just Google my address and it'll take you right here. So that's cool. At least it leaves the option of error off the table. Because if he really wants to be here, I'm sure he can Google it. Okay. What else? I do enjoy going live with you guys. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. I didn't get time to do light my fire, but I'm going to do it, because guess what? I like the fact that you guys viewed my video so many times. Last I looked, it had like 700 plus views. The video where I announced I might do light my fire. So that was point noted. That was response. Like I said, if that means if you please respond if you want me to do it. So I will do light my fire by the doors. I wanted to anyway, but I want to make sure you guys were behind it. So I will do it. I didn't have time last night. I had to do I did my Eugene's trick bag and Beethoven thing, and plus that's all the music I had in me last night after doing 27 outtakes. I just didn't feel like doing that my fire yet, but I'll do it. You guys like it, I'll do it. But I still have to get back to Rebel Yell, and I have to get back to Rosanna by Toto. But nothing's perfect, but I will get back to those. But I need to do light my fire, soon. So anyway, Yeah, you don't think when you're growing up being beaten up by a dad that you're gonna get something good out of it someday. It doesn't. You don't see that. You don't see the light out of that tunnel. But now that I am out of the tunnel, he did a lot of good for me by hitting me. He just did. I don't know. I didn't have it easy like probably almost every other dad in my area. They just let their kids do what they wanted. Kids were doing drugs. Kids were going to concerts and doing drugs. Kids were starting fights and being in fights. And I thought, what a screwed up life I have. Well, look at me. I don't have any of that. The only thing I really thought I had going for me was my schooling and my guitar playing. I had that I played guitar and I was smart and got practically straight A's in high school, but I didn't have what the normal, regular, average dad kids had. I didn't have what they had, and when you're young, especially in the '80s as well, you see things like a kid. I wasn't thinking, oh wow, someday I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to be happy my dad's beating the crap out of me. That wasn't even a thought that I could have even conceived of, much less thought was true. But anyway. I hope you guys like my necklace. I have a bunch. I guess I could go on about how I got them, but why do that? I don't know. Why break the mystery, right? I got a bunch of necklaces. I could wear one a day and have left over after a month. I got a ton. So cool. Yeah. So thanks for joining me live. And like I said in the video yesterday, I said, it's almost always anticipation of a horrible thing that's worse than the actual horrible thing. Like, I said, it's worse. It's worse if I would have been worried about Andy and Co. coming than it is actually waiting for them to actually come. Because it becomes three-dimensional once you're in the experience. It's not some two-dimensional fantasy that could go any way you don't even know what's going to happen, and you make it worse than it is, or you can't think of anything else, and blah 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 blah. But when the event actually comes, you're just okay. Let's do this, And so why worry in the first place? Why not take that step out of it and just don't even worry about it? Just live in the moment, whether someone's going to try to stalk you or not. Yeah, I use the word stalk. What, they're going to come after me in my home and threaten to do something harm to me, but they're not stalking me? Really? How do they know where I live then? How are they threatening me if they're not in my vicinity? They're within 150 feet or whatever of me before they can hurt me. So they're either already stalking me or they're about to stalk me today. You don't just happen to accidentally be at somebody's house with somehow ready to kill them or hurt them if you're not somehow connected to them in a way that you shouldn't be, probably, right? LOL. So, whatever. And you know what? There's also this. What makes them think they can get away? They want, Andy and his friend want to kill me or hurt me, and that's okay. They can get away with that, and that's okay for them to do. But whatever I did they think I did, which I didn't do anything. But if I did, I'm guilty, but they're not guilty for coming and killing me. But the law only applies to me, but not them. So they think that they're going to just be able to kill me and walk away and go home and have a great rest of their life, especially if I have it all on YouTube. But nothing's bad's going to happen to them because after all they did is murder. That's fine. What I did is inexcusable, whatever. Whatever. But no, but their murder is justified, right? Really? So they're not going to go to court. They're not going to go to trial. They're not going to go into jail. They're not going to, fuck their own lives up in the process because they're them. Nobody can hurt them because they're just too fucking awesome at being them. Yeah, right. Big LOL. And if they do get away with it, then maybe that serves my purpose too, because I kind of believe in freedom, and I'm kind of an anarchist myself. I don't do bad, but I also am not for the idea that we need police and government telling us what to do. Now, I didn't choose that, so it's not my call to have that not be. But to me, in a perfect world, we wouldn't need cops and lawmakers. But because there's so many dang assholes living on this planet, we have to. So the rest of us that aren't assholes can and live. And that's sad that the assholes do that to everybody. Make us all have to have police because there's always an asshole that would probably kill somebody if there weren't police. So thanks to those guys, we have to have police and laws and government and Biden and whatever is running us up over here. So there's that, right? So, but I'm kind of an anarchist, so if they get away with it, that almost promotes my cause anyway. Get away with it then. But you just proved that you're an anarchist, and America's falling apart. We're not going to have any laws, and Jimmy's right. We shouldn't. So whatever. And if I'm wrong about that, then you guys are going to fuck your own lives up. You guys are going to end up in jail for hurting me or killing me. You guys don't care, or you don't get that. Which is it? Or are you just not even coming because that was just to get me scared? The options are narrowing now. It's either you guys just made this shit up so I'd be scared, or you know you're going to screw your lives up and spend all the rest of your life in jail for doing this, or you just think you're going to get away with it because you're so fucking bitchy. What's the other option? I don't see another option. So whatever, Andy, whatever you think. Right? Excuse my cursing this morning, but I do have a death threat on my hands, LOL. Whatever. You know, I'm very quick, too. I mean, lots of guys, I don't really pick fights to find out how good I am at fighting, and maybe there's a ton of guys that could beat me up, but they got to catch me first. And sorry, there's not a ton of guys that can catch me. That's why I'm out here on my front porch. I've got a fence I can jump over. I've got that. I've got something on all four corners. On my left, I've got the gate that goes out to the front door, front of the house, front porch. Here, I've got a fence that goes to the front yard. Here, I've got an unlocked Studio 666 I can run through and lock behind me or whatever. And then behind me, I've got the door to my house that only has one lock on it, which is easy to undo and get in my house. So I'm very mobile right now. If they come at me, first of all, I'm going to hear them before they get here. I've got very good sight, hearing, and touch senses. It's probably part of my ASPE, but if it's not, then I don't know. I just have it anyway. I have very good vision, very good hearing, and very good tactile response. I've never worn glasses in my life. I can hear things that probably people don't think I can, and probably most people wouldn't be able to. And I can feel, even if a bug goes on my hand, like a ladybug or something, I can feel it. I'm just very sensitive to touch, sight, and sound. Yeah, you guys understand. So I'll hear someone coming before they even get here. So there's that, and then I'll be able to prepare before they get here. And if it's nobody, then I'll just go back and unprepare. But if it is them, I'll hear them coming. I'm already live right now, so if they come right now, they're going to already be on camera very, very quickly. But they're going to get away with that because they're just so cool, right? You're so cool, Andy, that you got butt raped when you were 7, and then killed your butt rapist when you were 9. That just makes you king of the shit hill, right? Right, Andy? Yeah, whatever floats your boat, Andy. Whatever. I know I'm talking kind of rude and mean, but I have a death threat. Okay, so please forgive me. I'm not in my normal habitat right now. All right, but anyway. So anyway, what's the time look like? I try to go like half an hour when I go live. I don't have a guitar right now because it will get in the way of me dealing with anybody, and I don't want the guitar hurt. I mean, you guys may think that's ridiculous, but no, I don't want my guitar hurt. I don't know. Richie Kotzen said about his guitars, my guitar would never hurt me. And I thought that was a cool thing to say. Jimi Hendrix wrote a song called Manic Depression. It basically says, music, sweet music, I wish I could caress and kiss and kiss. Manic depression is a frustrating mess. He's basically wishing he could make love to music, instead of a girl. That's what he's talking about in manic depression. Well, I'm not that far. Okay, let's do this. It wasn't Andrew, but that was somebody going by, but it wasn't Andrew, so LOL. Anyway, So what was I saying? I'm not that far. I still would rather make love to a girl than music. It's I don't want to make love to music. I'm not that far, but music is a great thing, and so is guitar. And so I don't want my guitar scratched up and stuff, So and Jimi Hendrix also says in Red House, he goes, "I still got my guitar," something like that. He's talking about his woman not having his woman. That's all right. I still got my guitar. He's talking about losing his girl and his girl, being in a red house and what's the story? Uh, he has a feeling she doesn't live there anymore. See, I had to remember that. His girl is gone, but that's okay. I still got my guitar. So I'd rather have a girl than a guitar, but that's the one exception. Other than that, I love my guitars. So I don't need to bring guitar out here for anybody to nick up. And let's just talk about nothing but something. I just love you guys. I love the people in my towns that honk at me and give me good love. It really means a lot to me. I don't have that much human interaction directly. Some days I don't even talk to a single person for more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes it feels like maybe even less, but I don't want to be dramatic and say something that might not be true. But I don't have a lot of human interaction. I've never met a blood relative, so I have no blood family. So my fans and my lovers is all the family I have. And sometimes most of the contact I have during the day is just you guys honking at me and saying you love me and yelling out my name, Jimi, and shirtless guy. So anyway, I love you guys. Peace.